Hi, I'm Kendra, and my mother passed away in December of 2021. It is now August of 2025, and recently I found what I'm assuming is from a speaker meeting of my mom's recovery story. Now that she's gone, I think that I can share this because it's not something I tried to share with a ton of people because obviously it was her business. But just like, I think about my mother, how young she died. She was only 57, but she accomplished a lot. And a lot of that was becoming a better mother and getting into recovery. And I found all of this, and it looks like it's from a speaker meeting. It's all in her handwriting. If you did not know this about my mom, this might be a little bit of a shock to you. But yeah, I think it's okay for me to share it now. My earliest memory of binging is around 9 or 10, when I had about an hour between school and when Dad got home. Then still eat a full dinner. Then I started smoking pot at the ripe old age of 12. This was enough to medicate my feelings away through my teens and early 20s. I was even able to control my weight during that time and was actually very slim. Of course, I thought I could stop smoking pot anytime because everyone knew back then that it wasn't addictive. My mom, she's like me. She's a plus size person. She's a larger person, not huge or anything, but just about the same size as me, maybe a little bit bigger. And that was something she really struggled with later in life because she was so thin, like her whole life. And I mean, she hated her body because every woman, I think, does a lot of the time. But anyway. After marriage, I slowly started gaining weight due to the munchies. So the dieting wars began. Then I got pregnant. I did give up pot during the pregnancy, so I gained 45 pounds because she was craving things. After my daughter, was born, I kept on all of the weight I had gained and went back to the pot until my second pregnancy, almost 4 years later with my son. I did better with my cravings because I knew I would keep on whatever weight I had gained. As my daughter got older, my drug use became an issue with my husband. So I tried all the things it says in the big book. If you're not familiar with recovery, there's a big book. I'm in Adult Children of Alcoholics. Ours is red. I don't know what color that. I'm assuming they're all red. I'm not sure. So yeah, that's where that is from. So the big book in 12 steps. The big book, like only doing it socially, not having it in the house, only doing it every other Thursday, etc., with little success. During the end of preschool and into kindergarten, my daughter started showing some perfectionist tendencies. She was also afraid of a lot of things, so we decided to take her to a therapist. I can share this now. It was OCD and we didn't know. And just I had general anxiety, but yeah, we didn't know I had OCD. And my mom didn't know. I didn't find out until after she died. So with this little mirror image running around, it didn't take a genius to figure out where she was getting the perfectionism from. So I decided to see a therapist too. I told my daughter that I was going to work on my anger and some bereavement after the death of my mother. My grandmother died when I was about 6 years old. The first time I walked into the therapist's office, I told her I don't know what my problem is because I had a perfectly normal childhood. She finally convinced me that it might not have been perfect since I had become an addict. I realized that just because my parents were responsible didn't mean I got everything that I needed from them emotionally. My father died when I was almost 12, and I realized that I didn't even really know him. But the hardest realization was that the mother I knew as Supermom neglected me emotionally. I realized that she had the same eating disease and she didn't know how to deal with her own emotions, much less mine. So we were not allowed to have any emotions other than happy. We weren't allowed to be angry, especially, and yet she seemed to be angry all the time. I was told to pray for someone if I was mad at them, which was the right idea if I had been allowed to have the feeling first. I was determined not to neglect my children in the same way. My therapist was helping me, but she wanted me to give up the pot. Well, in my mind, I had a pretty good handle on it, even though it was one of the only things my husband and I argued about. In the summer of 2001, my niece came for a short visit on her way to her mom's, my mom's sister, so my aunt. I knew that she and my sister had been in program for many years for some reason. Maybe I was finally ready to see it. I could almost see her inner peace. Knowing she had just gone through a major relationship change, she said she felt so good in every way, and it showed. I wanted what she had. She left me her big book and was going to pick it up on her way back through. Just a few pages into it, my denial about my addiction was gone. I knew I needed this program. I even went to a meeting before she came back for her big book and had bought my own literature. Abstinence didn't happen right away. I knew I had to give up the pot to even have abstinence from food, so I surrendered to go to NA if I could not stop on my own. I was able to stop smoking about a month later. My abstinence from sugar and food followed. Yeah, my mom gave up sugar for 10 or 12 years. She had it back, but I don't think she had a problem with it when she had sugar back in her diet. Because of the support from my wonderful sponsor, my mom's friend Christy, who has since passed also. I really wish she could see this. And my family in the program, my therapist thought I was ready to be released from therapy. She could not believe how much I had grown and changed after just working the first 5 steps. Even my daughter at 9 years old could see a change in me. She told me she could tell the therapy was working because I didn't get angry very much anymore. I know it wasn't only the therapy, but the program that helped with my anger. I realized that my addictions were causing a lot of my anger. Now, 2 years later, I can't tell you how much better my life is. I don't feel insane around food anymore. My relationship with my husband is better, even though it was never bad in the first place. But my relationship with my children is so much better. They're the reason I come here in the first place. I don't know if I would have ever sought help if it weren't for wanting to be a better mom. Now, when my children come home from school upset or anytime they've had a bad day, I hold them and let them cry. And we talk it out. Something I never had as a child. Not only can I see a major difference in my life, but my husband is now going to Al-Anon and changing for the better too. My daughter is growing up to be a very different, much happier person than the scared 5-year-old I had to take to therapy. My son was so young when I started the program. I hope he won't have the same problems. My hope is that my children will not become addicts, but if they do, I hope my example will lead them to this program. Then it says, talk about the Martina song. My mom, shortly after she got into recovery, I guess, Martina McBride came out with a song called In My Daughter's Eyes. And it's in my daughter's eyes, I'm a hero. And that just really confirmed everything for her. My reason to want to break the cycle is the last thing she wrote. If you knew my mom, you knew how amazing of a human being she was. She felt like she never found her purpose in life because she never found a career where she really felt like, oh, this is it. And it's like, I think her purpose was to be a sponsor because she sponsored so many people in 12 steps, and just to like be my mom. I think that was her purpose. Yeah, I wanted to read this in case anything happens to those papers, so I will always have it. Yeah, I miss her. I miss her a lot, and I am so thankful for everything that she did just to be a better mom and to be better for me and for my brother, Pierce, and for her husband and my dad, like I'm so proud of her. And if you didn't know that about my mom, I hope you're really proud of her too.